Back here on HQ Spotlight. So get this, the Sportsline model, we've seen a lot of mocks, and this is the first ever AI generated mock. So 1, 2, 3, maybe not super surprising. Got Cam Ward, of course, still going #1 overall. Travis Hunter to Cleveland. Abdul Carter going to the Giants. Ashton Genty going to the Jags. That seems to be more and more popular. Shador at #6. And then at #7, interesting here, Armand Membou going to the Jets out of Mizzou. Jalen Walker, T-Mac going to the Saints, and then Kelvin Banks Jr. going to the Bears. We have Mackenzie Brooks here with us in the house to kind of talk about this. As a first ever for us. We've heard about AI in so many different aspects of the business, but now we're looking at an AI generated mock from Sportsline, and we are starting with the Jets. It is a new era there. There's the Aaron Glenn era, a new quarterback, a lot of new, and you have them taking, or not, when I say you, I mean the Sportsline AI generated mock. That's what I mean. Membou going 7th overall.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to look at this draft. Now sometimes you see a lot of smoke and mirrors, right?
Yes.
When we get really close to it and odds are changing, going from +800 to -800 in the span of 24 hours. So what this AI mock specifically has is Genty going to the Jags, which could be the smoke and mirrors, but right now we do believe that's the case. So that's what starts to move down a lot of these offensive tackles and offensive linemen that you're seeing. So that's why we think Membou could go as late as 7. And look, obviously the Jets need help in the trenches. There's not too much analysis we have to go into there, but you're getting really good plus money, and that's the important part here. Draft bets, this is not the situation on the night of the year where you're really looking to, go 5 for 5. You're looking to go 1 for 5, but you're taking all plus money and you're hoping to still profit. So that's really the approach everybody should be taking with a draft. So hoping for him to go, past the Patriots here, go past the Raiders and land at 7 at the Jets, and the +220 that you're getting with that's why I'm suggesting it there to go over 6.5.
And just to reiterate too, if I haven't already, Ken's is going to give us picks in the best way to approach different picks kind of surrounding this AI mock draft.
Gotta bring the betting in.
Exactly, just to kind of to double down. I know you mentioned Ashton Genty, and so if he goes at 5 to the Jags, that could be a lot of moving parts, especially within the top 10. So a lot of mocks prior to this week have had Mason Graham pairing with the Jags and going in that #5 spot. In this AI mock, he's actually falling outside of the top 10, going #11. So how do we approach that within the top 5 and just overall? Because again, it's crazy to think that Ashton Genty going in one spot could make so many other shifts and make us bet differently.
Absolutely. So if you take that Membou to go past 6.5, right? That's us planning for Genty's going to the Jags, Genty's going at 5. Now, if you want to take Graham, I understand we have him going later than the Jags, but again, another plus money play. So if you're taking the plus money on Membou to go late, you're taking the plus money on Graham to go at 5 at the Jags. Now suddenly you've covered both of your bases here, and regardless of what that outcome of where Genty lands, you're probably going to profit in that way. So yes, we do have him going outside of that 5.5. We have him dropping a lot lower, but the point being, if we're here to make money, which I typically am, let's take the +220 on him to go early and the +220 on Membou to go late.
I feel like in all of these draft segments, we're just trying to get creative with how we're trying to make money.
And take some long shots.
Exactly, and position certain things. So if we can pull up the mock again from 11 to 20, I want to get to the Dolphins because we do have Malaki Starks, who is going, you see it there, 13th overall to the Dolphins in the Sportsline AI mock draft, Kens.
Yeah, so he's a guy, I'd say 13 is the highest where he would go.
Okay.
Right? I think his conversation starts to come in around 13. Miami absolutely being one of those teams that could take him. They're looking to trade Ramsey. They get rid of Holland. So a lot of room for them to improve, especially a team that's looking to be competitive right now. But 13 down, I mean, there's 3 to 4 teams starting with Miami that probably have around a 25% chance of taking him. So that leads us to believe he could absolutely go before that 23.5 number that you're seeing. That 23.5 number is linked to Minnesota, the Vikings there at 24, which it absolutely could be them. Yep. But again, at plus money, when I see 3 to 4 teams with around a 25% chance, it all adds up to 50. It's like you might as well take that long shot that he could go before Minnesota.
Okay. And if we, pull up the mock again, right before him, we actually have Tyler Warren in that mock going to the Cowboys. It's interesting we talk about who's tight end number one, because I feel like it was Tyler Warren for most of, the weeks leading up to this. And then only recently we're starting to see Colston Loveland, in some of these drafts going as tight end number one, not number one. But here you have him going 22nd to the Chargers, which would make him tight end 2 in this draft.
Yeah, so historically, tight ends are not exactly a valued position, right? They're seen more as a luxury. So this is more of a principal play of, hey, you typically don't see tight ends go that early. I mean, you look at Brock Bowers and how great he was, one of the best rookies we've seen come out of that season last year, and he was 13, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they're going that high. So I just think this is a situation you could see him at Seattle maybe. They're pick 18. They could absolutely use him. But if you go down the board, there's just plenty of guys after 17 and a half. The Chargers, I mean, that's his own coach, his own head coach for Michigan here. So he's absolutely linked to them. In our eyes, we think that's the most likely. But again, starting at that 18 spot, going down, another plus money play here that you can get.
All right, so we're going to kind of look at the quarterback position, right? Because when we look at last year, there was, a record, 6 quarterbacks that were taking in the first round. It was a historic year for quarterbacks. Really not the same situation here as in terms of QBs. It feels like it's 1 and 2, but I did notice you guys have Jackson Dart going there, 21 overall to the Steelers. So tell us where you're at in the totals in terms of QBs that are going to be taken in round 1.
Yeah, so we are rounding out with 3 here. Now you can get over 2.5 quarterbacks to go in the first round, and around minus 130, 132. So this is one play I'm giving you that's not some crazy plus money here. But this is a play against the smoke and mirrors on Shedeur Sanders, right? People saying he's disrespectful, teams don't want him, all of those things. I find that very hard to be true, and I think that would land somebody if he goes around top 15 to top 20 in Sanders and all of this, his bad personality isn't true. That then, the ripple effect is that Jackson Dart would go to Pittsburgh here. We all know Pittsburgh does need help in the quarterback position here. That's probably their biggest concern. So again, it's about getting rid of that Sanders drama, knowing that he probably will be picked early, which then leads to Dart being picked early.
And again, all that drama could just be another smokescreen.
Never know.
Who knows?
Never
we'll have
know.
to see how it all shakes out. Kenz, we certainly appreciate it. A first here, going through Sportsline's very first AI mock draft. Yeah, and again, maybe looking into the total number of quarterbacks drafted in the first round, thinking maybe 3. But for more picks, make sure you check out Sportsline. It's now the perfect time to join. You can get 60% off of that annual plan. Just use the promo code WINNERS.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.